Hi, I'm Mrs. Hoffmeister, and I have to confess that I'm a little bit worried with everything that's going on in the world right now. It makes me feel uncomfortable when I see the news or when I talk to my parents about what's going on, and I guess everyone staying home just makes me nervous. But here's a little trick that I know that I want to teach you, and that is that you are in charge of your thinking and I am in charge of my thinking. And so just because I feel worried doesn't mean that I have to stay worried. I know that whatever I tell my brain to think about, it will think about. And so today I brought some math to think about. Now I know that seems crazy, but your brain and my brain want to do thinking. Brains love to think. And when we don't give them something to think about, they're going to think about what we're worried about. So let's think about some math and give our brains a break from the worry. Sound good? Let's look. Look at this problem. Now, this problem might make you a little nervous just because it's so long. But let's dig in and let's let our brains do some hard work. Hard isn't the enemy. We can do difficult things. Joey had 360 baseball cards that he has collected over the years. Joey and his friend Ricky sold the cards at a flea market. He sold 1/3 of them on Saturday and 1/4 of the remainder on Sunday. Each card sold for 75 cents. How many baseball cards are left Sunday after the flea market closes? How much money did the boys make at the flea market? Wow! Is anybody going, yikes? Let's take a look and just break this bit by bit, because that's how our brains think, bit by bit. Joey, so we've got a boy, had 360 baseball cards that he collected over the years. Stop. So we have a boy with baseball cards. I don't know if you know what baseball cards are. You might. They look almost like playing cards, except that they have pictures of famous baseball players and all the statistics of the things that they've done while they played. So we've got a boy that has a lot of baseball cards, 360 of them. Joey and his friend Ricky sold the cards. Ooh, so I guess you can take the cards and sell them and people will buy them from you at a flea market. So Joey and Ricky go to the flea market with their 360 cards and they sell them to people. So I'm thinking that someone's going to make some money, hopefully, in this problem. Let's keep going. Two boys going to a market selling cards. Okay. Who's he? Oh, I think it's Joey, sold 1/3 of them. What's the them? Oh, the cards. So he sold 1/3 of them on Saturday. Stop. So on Saturday they go and Ricky and Joey are walking around and they sell 1/3 of them. So that's like they had all 360, the whole, and they chopped it up into 3 parts. Okay. Then they sold 1/4 of the remainder. The remainder? 1/4 of the remainder. Let me back up. He sold 1/3 of them on Saturday and 1/4 of the remainder on Sunday. Oh, what do you think the remainder is? Oh, are you thinking he sold 1/3 of the cards and 1/4 of whatever was left over? So he sold some and then he sold 1/4 of the leftover. The leftover he took and chopped into 4 parts and sold 1/4 of that. Let's take a second and just kind of do a hard stop here before we start thinking about how much money he made and how many cards are left. And let's see if we can just begin doing some thinking. Sound good? All right, so here we are with the 360 cards. And we know if we look back at the problem that they sold 1/3 of them. So if I take all these cards and I chop it into 3 parts, what operation is it when I have a whole and then I pass out into equal groups? I have a whole and then I make groups from the whole. Division. So I'm going to take the 360 and split it up. And I know that he sold 1/3. Here's 1/3. They sold this part. That means that this part must be the remainder or leftover. Now, it says that they sold 1/4 of the remainder. So when I split this into 3 parts, it's because it was thirds. This is 4 parts. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I don't know the number yet, but if I do some thinking, I betcha I can figure this out. How about you go grab a pencil or a pen, grab a piece of paper, grab a scrap of paper, grab something. You do some thinking. I'm going to do some thinking. And let's see if we can meet back here with some thinking and we'll wrap it up together. Sound good? Are you ready? Get something to write with. Get something to write on. You ready? Set. Go. Okay, you good? If you need more time, you can always pause this. Let's take a look at some thinking I did. Let's see what you've got. So I started with 360. And if I divide 360 by 3, because remember they were talking about thirds and they sold 1/3, I get 120. They sold this stack right here. Then they had this left over. That's 240. I know that because 120 and 120 are 240. Now, why did I divide it by 4? Well, because they said that they sold 1/4. So here they sold this and they sold this. Let's look at what we're solving for. How many baseball cards are left over? Oh, well, here's our answer to that question right here. These are my leftovers. 60, 60, 60 is 180. Now, let's see how much money they made. Well, first we have to know how many baseball cards they sold. They sold this and they sold this. That together is this. How much did they get for each baseball card? Oh, that's right, 75 cents. So when I multiply that out, I get 135. If the blocks confuse you, you could always do it like this, if that makes more sense to your brain. There are a multitude of ways to do this, but when we're all finished, we're going to come up with 180 cards that are left over, and the boys made $135. Whew! My brain kind of feels like I just took it on a jog, like I just did some exercising. And when I'm done with that, I feel good. I feel better. And I'm not carrying that worry. Woo, thank you so much for joining me. I feel better. I hope you do too. Remember, you're in charge of your thinking and your worry. It's not in charge of you.